spawn off of those, or you want more elaboration on the answer, please just jump in and talk. We've got a pretty small group here, so I think it's going to be easy enough for us to all go off mute and have a pretty pleasant conversation. What you're seeing here on the screen right now is some work done by our sophomore level students. So at that level, you're learning After Effects, you're learning a little bit of Cinema 4D. So you're learning some tool skills to enhance what you'll be making as you move through your career at CCS. And so this fun project is just take the word advertising and animate it with this new tool that you've learned. And so what we do and what we promise the students as we're going along in this project is that we're going to show it to people. So on our floor, on the televisions, right when you walk in, you'll see this animation of all of their animations playing back to back and promoting them. So it's a good early sort of feather in your cap as an advertising student, where you walk in and, you know, with some pride, or if you bring your parents in for the end of the year show, they get to see that you made this thing that's up on the wall and it's very prominent. We also use these for promotional materials. We use them obviously for these presentations, and we use them for video buffers as well. So in between different videos, we'll throw in an advertising animation so that people know what department they're watching a video for. So I'm going to click off of this and go to the next slide. So the advertising department here at, oh, I skipped it, at CCS has two areas of emphasis. One is art direction, which is the visual design of things, so the things that you're seeing, and the other side is copywriting, which is the verbal side of things. So now with our new curriculum in the second, or in your third semester, second year, so sophomore year, you get to choose a path. So if you fall in love with the art direction side, you continue on that path and you'll take a few different classes. If you fall in love with writing and you want to be an advertising copywriter, then you can follow that path. You'll take more creative writing-based classes as they pertain to advertising. And then you'll have studio classes where you take where it's art direction and copywriting together. And you'll work in partnerships where you create a single ad, both of you working to create the idea and to create this amazing idea. And that simulates the real world. So in advertising agencies, an art director is partnered with a copywriter, and they work on concepts and ideas for their clients together. And the art director might work on some copywriting, the copywriter might work on some art direction, but mostly they'll stay in those lanes. They'll work together, they'll create this cool idea, they'll pitch it to the client. The client inevitably will love it and give them money to create it, and they'll make it and move on. And it'll be amazing award-winning work because you've learned how to do it, and you've been doing it for the time you were at CCS plus however long you've been now at your job. So we're looking toward the future. One of the biggest things that I say to students when we do these information sessions is that we're not here to teach you how to be a college student. We're here to teach you how to be a professional. So we set up our department to do and mimic the professional environment. So this list that you're seeing here is just a few things you'll learn in the advertising department. It seems like a lot, but you'll actually learn more than this. These were things I could think of off the top of my head that we cover in our classes. So obviously art direction and copywriting, you'll learn the basics of design, photography, content creation, social media. You'll do print design, out of home advertising, experiential advertising. We still do radio, especially now with the state of the world right now. Radio is becoming incredibly important again. So having that message be delivered to people through Spotify, on YouTube, the television commercials and content that you've been seeing using stock photography, it's all about that writing and that tone of voice that is going into it. You'll learn television production, which doesn't necessarily mean TV. And it's sad that I'm pointing at like a flat screen TV behind me, and I'm calling it old technology. Because I know most of you are watching and consuming your media either on the computer screen or your mobile phones. But that's when we call it television production, it's video-based content that's going to be delivered through whatever media. So all of these things, again, just a few things that you're going to learn in the department as you go through your years and your time at CCS. you're inevitably going to fall in love with one of those things, and you're going to want to focus more of your work in that area, and we'll help you shape your portfolio to get a job in that field as you move along. Right now, what I want to do is I'm going to take a couple minutes. I want to share with you guys a little bit more visually of what you'll be doing. So this is about 2.5 minutes of work that students have created within the department. So I'm going to sit back and play this real quick, and let me know if the sound doesn't work. So I'm gonna sit on this slide here for just a second, because my favorite thing about this reel that we put together is that this is 100% student generated work. All of the photography, the props, the illustrations, the animations, everything that you see here, none of it is stock. The students created this all from the ground up. There, obviously you're seeing snippets of these videos and these animations and things like that, but none of it was stock footage. And I think that's absolutely incredible, and it's an absolute testament to the quality of student that we get in our department. And what I like to say is that it's a world-class institution. We have world-class faculty, but just as important is we get world-class students. So we showcase them wherever and whenever we can. And that's going to lead me here to the next slide, where we have award shows, award competitions that we enter our student work in, and we encourage students to enter. What you're seeing here on the right-hand side of the screen is a video for a mobile application concept that Nick Masson on the right with the leather jacket here won Best in Show for at the D-Show Awards here in Detroit, which is the biggest advertising show in the Detroit area for local agencies. They have a student category, and Nick won Best in Show this year. It was the first time we had a student win Best in Show. So we had several other award winners in that show, but for Nick to bring home that coveted Black D and the necklace was just an incredible feat. And this was just this past November, December. They alter when they're doing it. It's usually late November, early December. So a phenomenal achievement there by Nick. So we're really proud of him. And then the Lego, this space video that you saw as a part of that reel, was created by Melissa Gallup, who this past year was our Artistic Achievement Award winner, which is given out to one senior per department every year. And she created this space costume from scratch. she flew out to Utah or Nevada, I think it was Utah, um, and shot this film for video or for Lego. Just a beautiful story. She's a person that doesn't take no for an answer. So you talk to Melissa and you say, okay, this is a huge idea and it's awesome. How are we going to get this done? And typically you're going to help people reel things back in so that they can do it. But Melissa was such a go-getter and she says, I'm flying to Utah. I've built this space costume. I'm going to shoot it as is. And so then we as instructors panic and freak out because we're like additional parents at the school. But then Melissa comes back with this gorgeous piece of film. And it's a testament to her work ethic. She won a cube in the Art Directors Club Gold Cube, which is the first one we've won since I believe Brandy Keeler won a gold cube when she was a student in the ad department. So major kudos to Melissa for working so hard and earning that award. Additionally, in the Young Ones Student Awards, we had several pencil winners, which the Young Ones and the Art Directors Club Awards are global awards. So people from all across the globes, professionals and students alike, are competing to win these honors. So Jennifer Brudzinski and Saw Yang won for this awesome concept they put together for Burger King. I'm not going to let the whole thing play through because I want to be conscientious of our time here. But again, the animations that you're seeing on screen, the footage that you're seeing here, they collected obviously the news footage, but they created the animation and then they shot additional footage to go into this whole concept here for the Burger King firefight. So it was a concept about, Burger King's all about flame broiled, and it's like one day we're gonna put out the flames. So a very, very cool 72 hours, I was wrong. I didn't wait long enough for that slide. And then you've got several other winners here. We got a bronze pencil winner here from Chelsea Ann and Jordan. We've got merit winners of Nick, who won that D-Show award. So he won a Young Ones merit as well. And then Brianna and Dana winning merit as well. So very, very high honors coming to the students. In addition to those award winners, we have some, I'm saying over and over, and I shouldn't even point that out, but you're welcome. We have award winners or scholarship winners rather, that are very unique to our department. I've worked with AdCraft over the last few years to develop a diversity scholarship for young students vying for careers in advertising. So working with AdCraft, we define diversity in the D, and that is a scholarship that's sponsored both by AdCraft and then a local Metro Detroit agency. And what it does is it provides that student with $10,000, $5,000 for their junior year, $5,000 for their senior year, and a 2-year mentorship from that sponsoring agency. So this past year at the D-Shows, Noor Jamaluddin was awarded that scholarship. So she got to go up on stage, be recognized for her achievement, give a little speech, and then she was placed with, I believe it was, I want to say it was Leo Burnett this year. I can't recall exactly which one was this year and which one was last year. So it's the second year running. In addition to that, every year we have a John Bruton Scholarship Award, which is advertising specific. It's run through our department, and only an advertising student can get this award. And again, it's going from junior year to senior year. This year, we had enough funds in the scholarship to award 3 $6,000 scholarships. And you'll see in the bottom image here that it was a competitive scholarship that was judged by advertising professionals across the nation. So we reached out to alumni and friends and people in our network as faculty and asked them to be judges. So this panel that you're seeing here not only includes me, but includes the people that were contestants for the awards, and then some of the judges from across the the globe. So we had judges this year from San Francisco, Chicago. I think we had some people in New York, and then also here in Detroit. So it was a very good and very robust panel. So that is actually one of the benefits we've encountered from shifting things to more of a remote environment, is that we were able to reach out to our colleagues who normally wouldn't be able to come in person to judge these competitions, but we're able to set up these Zoom meetings and presentations so that we could get wider exposure for these students. So that goes to my bigger point, is that these awards and these scholarships are exposing students to a larger network of people that they wouldn't otherwise be exposed to. And it's not for our benefit as the school or the department, it's for the benefit of the students. So winning those awards is a testament to the hard work that you're doing at school, which is a testament to your initiative, your motivation. And by doing so, then is a big banner on your resume, which these employers or prospective employers then notice. So when you're getting judged or reviewed at these competitions, it's from industry professionals, and your name and your project may come across their desk in this award competition, and then you may apply for a job there, and they'll remember that, oh, I judged those awards. That piece of work was really amazing. I want to talk to this person. So the awards competitions and the scholarship competitions expose you to even more of a broad network globally than we could normally do with just a standard classroom. So we do expand our personal networks, or extend rather our personal networks to students, where we bring in guest critiquers from advertising professionals that we know to critique your work, guest critique your work, give you feedback. All of our full-time and adjunct faculty have worked in the industry for a number of years, are still working in the industry, and know people. So almost every class and how you act and work in those classes is essentially a job interview. So you start making connections with us as faculty, then we introduce you to our colleagues, and your network starts growing and growing. In addition to that, it's a small cohort typically of 20-ish students every year. But if you come in as freshmen and you're part of 20, you've got those 19 other people that are a part of your network, but you also have those 60 people in front of you that become a part of your network. And then when you move up, you get 20 additional people that are part of your network, and you move up and you get 20 additional people that are part of your network. So your network when you leave CCS is well over 100 people. And you can reach out to those people. You connect with them on LinkedIn, you stay in touch with them. If job opportunities arise, they'll reach out to their network, or you can say, hey, we were in this class together and we worked really well. I'm interested in this open position at your job. Can you get me an interview? Can you show my book to someone? And things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity to grow your network, to really carve out your career path here in the advertising department. And that leads me to our most recent graduating class. So as we all know, things, and I'll say things because again, we're being recorded, hit the fan in March here in Michigan and globally back in January. So we have this group of 20-something seniors that were graduating, and they obviously were concerned about employment when they graduated. Prior to COVID, we had a high 90% job placement in the area of study in the advertising department. So that, just boiling that down, is high 90% of our students that graduated got careers in advertising almost immediately upon graduation. The lack in that percent, the missing 5 to 10%, got jobs. They just didn't get those jobs in advertising because they chose to do something else. So that's a pretty amazing statistic. and that's pre-COVID. So obviously we expected things to change with COVID. I mean, we're in COVID now, right? We're not post-COVID. So we had this group of seniors graduating, and what I can say about this group is that we have 90% placement of these students, even though all of this craziness is happening in the world. So that again attests to the quality of the work, their work ethic, how amazing what they produce is, that agencies who have otherwise needed to cut back on hiring are still hiring our students, which I think is incredible. And again, it's a testament to their incredible work. So that is a thing that if you choose to come into the advertising department, that we're going to expect from you. So you're getting accepted to CCS, that's step one, right? And if you get accepted to CCS, that means you're a higher quality student, a higher quality creative. If you're a creative in this area of Michigan, CCS is absolutely the school that you belong in. If you choose the advertising department, great. But if you're a creative in this area and you want to be a creative for the rest of your life, CCS is the institution that you need to finish your education through. I will say that flat out. It doesn't matter to me which department you choose on a personal level. CCS is the best place. One of the top, in my opinion, top 3 in the nation, but definitely the best in this region. So if you're a creative, this is the school you need to be at. You've chosen the right place. If you want to be in advertising, this is the department. If you like doing multiple things, if you like shooting photos, if you like doing illustration, if you like telling stories, if you like writing, if you like video production, if you like, even experiential design, this is the department, because you're going to constantly be doing something different. And it's the same in your career. So like I said earlier in the presentation, is we set up our department to mimic the professional world. So previously, we had offices, we had breakout rooms, we had conference rooms and things like that. Now that a lot of the industry has moved to a semi-mobile platform, we're mirroring that as well. So we have plenty of classes that are going to be offered in that hybrid format. Some classes offered in an online format. Some classes that will still have that in-person interaction. So we're moving with the industry, and we're staying lockstep with it. We're not falling behind. We're not waiting for someone else to make a decision. We're changing as the industry changes, which goes to that long list of different forms of media that I showed you early on as well. Anytime new media is created, advertising incorporates it and finds a way to communicate to their global audience through that form of media. So I think that's it for my overall presentation. Again, we've got faculty and staff here and alumni. I would love to hear any questions that you guys have. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. And I would love to just open it up for a Q&A. Consider it an Ask Me Anything. If you guys have any questions at all, that's what we're here for today. So go for it. Who wants to go first? I don't see anything in the chat. So
and I'll just add this too, Ryan. For anybody who's tuning in who doesn't want to use their microphone to ask a question, you're welcome to type your question in the chat box, and we'll be able to answer that way as well.
Sure.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, so being a transfer student, I did a lot of work in Photoshop and InDesign and Illustrator because my major was graphic design. Now I'm noticing that, like you guys are using After Effects, and I know how to navigate through it, but I don't know it as intricate as everyone else would. So what would you recommend me doing in this situation?
Well, there's a couple of courses of action. Um, in the fall, I am going to be personally running additional workshops to help students get caught up on those technical skills. So I'm going to do sort of drop-in seminars, for lack of a better term, right now. I haven't branded this stuff yet. To where I teach After Effects from the ground up. I'm going to do it as there's going to be a basics session that you can come in and you can learn just the beginning stuff, and then there's going to be like sort of a refining of skills session where you can come in and ask questions, and I can run through that stuff. Additionally, as a student at CCS, you get access to LinkedIn Learning, which used to be lynda.com. And there are a ton of really great resources on that. I know typically students don't want to hear, go to lynda.com, but I have bookmarked several After Effects specific training videos on LinkedIn Learning, and they are fantastic. And they're actually done or presented by Trish and Chris Meyer, which are the people who write the definitive books on how to work in After Effects. So it's nothing to scoff at. These are people who I actually this last semester did a book review for. So I had to review their new text coming out and write up a book review. And they're phenomenal. I think it's called Essential After Effects on LinkedIn Learning. Keep calling it lynda.com. But that would be a great place to start. So if you have access to that now, or if I don't know how soon you get access to Blackboard and your CCS account, but the moment you do, there are a ton of resources that CCS provides to keep you up to date on that. And then we've got a number of faculty resources that are there. There's also classes in other departments. You can take animation classes in entertainment arts that focus on those tools, and those will get you caught up to speed really quickly.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you.
It's the same, I have to say it's the same with drawing classes. If any of you have seen the work on the walls at CCS or on the website at CCS, and it's intimidating, none of those people knew how to do that before they came here, at least not as well. That's the stuff they're learning while they're here. So if you're looking at work and you're just like, that's way, way better than what I can do, I would just say maybe for now. But the work that you're going to put in at CCS is going to get you to that level. The drawing instructors at CCS are second to none. It's incredible the way that they can take you from thinking you can draw to being able to draw incredibly well.
And Ryan, just to add to that, you mentioned Blackboard. Students who are admitted, when they receive their CCS email and password, they can start to access Blackboard. So you have that login information in your acceptance package and on your student portal. So you can use that to access the tools that are on Blackboard.
Awesome. Even better.
Plus, all the teachers are pretty friendly and you can always ask and talk to us. Whether you're in our class or in another class, we encourage you to come up and talk to us. We can't do anything about a grade for another teacher, but we can certainly help you understand because we've all been there and we all know each other. Ryan, Lauren, and all those people really support. If you can't get a hold of one of us, if you talk to Lauren, she'll put you in touch with somebody. I mean, that's the way we are.
Yeah, and I'll say that every person at CCS has the exact same agenda, and that's to help you achieve all of your goals and to get you out of here as successfully as you can be. What else? Any other questions?
There's a lot of you folks here. Don't be shy.
Here we go. We got one coming up in the chat.
Oh.
I know I can answer some of these, but Ryan, I know you probably have the answer.
Yeah, the drawing tablets we do offer on a checkout basis, so you can talk to the Audiovisual Center. They do go pretty quickly. I think we're upping our stock on those. So we do try to refresh that stock and add more to that. But the sooner you get with the Audiovisual Center, they provide those on a semester checkout basis, I believe. And then Adobe Creative Cloud is offered to students, and you can access that. I think there's a link on our Blackboard site. That should be also included in your acceptance package. All the information about how to go and grab that Creative Cloud. I think it's free. Is that right?
It's free, and,
Yeah.
and students get 2 licenses, so you're able to install them.
Yeah,
on
2
devices.
computers, right? And then just figure out in class with our teachers. Yeah. So free Creative Cloud. There is access to drawing tablets. We can recommend some too if you use one and you decide to get your own. Wacom obviously is the go-to like industry standard, but I do have some links that I can share that are off-brand ones that I've used and that are good enough. So. Cool. Anything else? We've got 1, 2,
Let's say I'm gonna start unmuting people. Not just playing.
It's like 6 people. Trying to see where everybody's from. I have a list
We have some
of
folks
all of
from
you guys.
Illinois.
Michigan.
Folks, this is a great opportunity to ask questions.
Victoria's from
about
Illinois.
student life. Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
Anything else, you guys?
Hope so. Wrong question.
Is that for the dorm, the drafting table?
Yeah. So
go ahead, Brandy.
yeah, for student housing, we recommend that students talk with their roommates about the furniture that they want to bring. There's typically enough room in, for sure, the Art Center building dorms, and relatively enough room in the Topman Center dorms. Within the Topman Center, we actually have dedicated spaces for students to use the drafting tables we provide. So that's a reason why we encourage students to talk to their roommates, because they may find that they have, everyone doesn't have to bring their own. But I know we're also limiting the number of students who are in the dorms this year for our pandemic provisions. So it may obviously be more space for students to bring a drafting table. So students are allowed to bring their own table. We don't always recommend it until students see what their course load is like, see how much they're actually going to use it for their assignments. Hopefully that's helpful. And one thing I haven't seen people ask questions about are like student life internships. There's all kinds of amazing questions out there.
I can jump in quickly and talk a little bit about internships as far as what we've had so far. In most cases, or a lot of cases, our students start getting internships after their sophomore year. So once they've completed the spring, winter semester, whatever it's called, and go into the summer after their sophomore year, they're finding internships, and typically that is a local Metro Detroit thing. But recently, that landscape has started to change. So we've seen students start to go to New York and Boston and Chicago. We had a student just a couple years ago who interned in London. So we're starting to grow globally as far as internships go, which is incredible. Employment is a different story. Employment is all over the nation, and starting to span across the globe. But internships, it started to become a really interesting thing where even those positions started expanding greatly outside of the Metro Detroit area, and outside of even the Midwest. So we've had people going all over the place for internships. And again, that's starting as young as sophomore year. So if they maintain those contacts, a lot of times they're invited back for another internship. So it happens and it happens and it happens. And Brandy, I know you went through the exact same thing. You were definitely one of the higher achieving students in the department too. So I'm sure that you had a similar experience as far as internships go when you were a student.
Yeah, when I started 4 days after graduation. It was the one of the places I interned with, so it was super helpful for placement. I see some other questions coming in. Someone asked, "Will this major prepare them to become a package designer?"
Yeah, for that question, I'm going to answer no. To be a package designer, you're gonna look more towards communication design. I know there are even classes run in the illustration department. So advertising is more about strategic messaging. Yes, we do design, and we have people very highly capable of design and doing package design, but it's more about the strategic message and becoming the voice of a brand, more so than it is in defining the logo for the brand or the packaging for the brand. So we're more of what the brand speaks to, and how we communicate to the public, and we design those visuals accordingly. Then what else do we have here? So that kind of goes into the next question, which is overlap between advertising and communication design. A good art director is a good graphic designer or communication designer, however, a graphic designer, I'll say for this instance. You're going to have a lot of the similar skill sets. As a communication designer, you're going to design what, let's say, I created a new product, or I launched a new brand. As a communication designer, graphic designer, you're going to design the branding, which is the logo. You're going to design what the individual pieces for the brand look like. As an art director, an advertising designer, in the educational construct of it, you're going to come up with, how do we then talk to the public? How do we enhance that look and feel of the brand to create engaging communication and tell everybody what our product is all about and how our product is unique? And we're gonna enhance that with photography and video and radio and out of home advertising and print advertising and experiential advertising and interactive advertising and mobile applications. And I mean, it just goes on and on, right? The list keeps growing, but it's keeping that consistent message, and it's knowing what our values are as a brand and how we communicate that, and how do we formulate a story and then convey that story to the public. I hope that answers the question. It's kind of a long way to say we're similar but different. Let me try and shorten it. How did I say this in a meeting in the past? Is that communication design is how did I phrased it? It's keeping it simple. It's type as image, whereas advertising design is type and image. So that might help. That might confuse things a little more. I don't know. But it's also communication design is the physical form of the body. Advertising is the heart and soul, the voice. So they're related, and they can't necessarily exist without each other, but they're different. I hope that helps. That was for Amber.
I also think, Ryan, going
Yeah,
down,
please jump in. Other people help.
going down that line, the way advertising solves problems are helpful with a lot of other things. I mean, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but solving problems in life as well as just learning how to dig out the meat of what needs to be done, I guess. You know, looking for that one little thing that sets it apart, which could be used in any job.
Philip, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was going to say it's kind of like that old Leo Burnett saying where communication design is like the steak, and we create the sizzle that sells the steak or makes you want the steak. It's the story, the emotion. It's, you know, conceptual, visual. It's just having a lot of fun coming up with concepts and doing it over and over across different medias. Also, Ryan did a great job explaining all this stuff today. You know, another great thing with CCS and advertising is you're going to have a huge toolkit of skills when you come out of this department. If illustration's your passion, you'll have that. Photography, film, you'll be telling stories using that passion, and you'll using After Effects and having other tools, because CCS is known for not only being an art director, but you also can come up with the idea and execute it. It's kind of a unique school in that point.
Ryan, I have a question that's sort of a frequently asked question.
Okay.
I have a lot of students who are interested in advertising because of all the different things that you're able to do as far as, you know, video photography, writing, design, etc. But they say, but I don't want to sell things. It's sometimes something I hear. What do you say to the student who's interested in exploring the intersection of all these skills and ways of thinking, who don't necessarily want to go into, you know, the more promotional side of advertising?
There's a number of avenues rather. At its core, advertising is that intersection of commerce and and art, right? At its core, that's what it is. But there are a lot of nonprofit agencies. There are a lot of social causes that need the same kind of skill sets that you can work for. You know, Humane Society. They do advertising, so you can work for those things where you're not selling Coca-Cola, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're selling something that maybe you believe in more, right? And a lot of these agencies, they'll have not-for-profit clients, and for the most part, you'll know which team they're interviewing you for. Right? If you're against big tobacco, then you're going to know if you're interviewing for Marlboro or not. And if that's against your personal values, you just say no, thank you. And you can go and you can work for, truth.com, right? Which is the exact opposite. So there are a lot of avenues that provide those pathways to where you're not selling a thing. You're still selling, but in a different way, right? So you're communicating like, hey, we need you to give money, but we need you to give money for this greater cause. We don't need you to give money so that you can have a new computer or that you can have a glass of pop soda for those not from the Midwest that may be joining us. But does that answer your question, Brandy?
I mean, I knew the answer, but I know but no, that covers it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of avenues in there, and we've got students who've gone on to work for medical agencies, and they're helping doctors promote medical practice. Right? It's not a product, and you've got people going out and doing things they truly believe in, and they're using these skills. You know, they're forming their own agencies that are nonprofit agencies that solely work for nonprofit corporations. So there's a lot of good that can be done. And to what Philip was saying and Mr. Moy was saying, is that the skill sets that you learn from our department, we've seen put into practice as their creative problem solving skills. It's not just advertising. Yes, that's our focus. But we've seen students leverage those skills to start their own companies and solve creative problems creatively. And so it's been a very interesting. I've been here for 10 years now, which when I say that blows my own mind, because I can't believe it's already been 10 years. But the things that I've seen our alumni accomplish blows me away.
I also, to add to that, Ryan, you don't have to, Brandy, you know this, you don't have to work at an advertising agency. If you want to do something, if there's a cause you're really after, you can go and work at that place and help them with their branding. I mean, people like the autism, I don't know what the name of their group is, but they're looking for people to do stuff from the inside out. What about United Foundations or Salvation Army? They need people on both sides. They need agencies to do some stuff, but they need people on the inside to help keep the brand moving forward, you know. And all the agencies that I worked at, if they did something that I didn't believe in, they didn't fire me because I said I didn't want to work on it. You know, they found something else for me. And once you're in the business, you get known for doing certain things. I will say there weren't too many accounts that I wouldn't work on, but during the Vietnam War, when I worked, I wouldn't work on the Army account, and that was Miriam Rubikam's account. They didn't consider me anything other than somebody who didn't want to work on that, you know. So you can find a place if you have a want and a need and you want to do something. Go out and go for it. Maybe you can establish your own thing. You might start something new totally on your own, and people will come to you because you become expert or you understand how to brand it.
Yeah. And also, there's a question about a photo major wanting to know if they take ad as a minor, will it make them more marketable? Yeah, I'll say yeah. I think the more tools you have in your toolkit makes you more marketable, whether that's photo as an ad minor, photo as a communication design minor, an ad major as a photo minor, like any combination of things. The more tools you have in your toolkit makes you more desirable, more marketable when it comes to life after graduation, for sure. And it increases your skill set, right? So it exposes you to different ways of thinking. It exposes you to different practices. And so that sets you apart, for sure. Personally, I would go the other way around, but
it'll help you relate too. Like if you'll relate to the client that's hiring you because you understand what goes behind being an art director.
Yeah.
You understand both sides of the table, because a lot of times photographers don't really understand until they get on their first job, but you'll have that firsthand and it'll help you sell yourself.
Yep. You'll know how to communicate with the art director that's on the project that you're shooting photos for and with. And you'll find that those relationships are easier to navigate and easier to gain, for sure. What else? Hi, Alexis joined us. Is she gone again?
I think so.
Oh, bummer. It's from Arizona. I don't know if she.
But hopefully, Alexis can catch the recording.
Yeah, I hope so.
So we're 7 minutes away from 8. I want to make sure we're honoring everyone's time. I know some folks may be ready for dinner. So are there any other questions that we have for Brian or Greg or Philip or Lauren or myself, alum or faculty or department chairs about advertising at CCS? Serena's like, no, I have my question answered. Well, awesome. Well, I'm going to give Ryan a chance to say thank you, but from the admissions perspective, I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in today. We will have this recording saved to YouTube, and we'll send a link out to you. So if you miss any part, we'll make sure you have the information you need. And as always, if you have additional questions, please feel free to reach out.
No ag classes this semester will come in later since I chose it as a minor. Yes. Yeah, I think you start your minor. When do you start your minor, Randy?
I believe it's sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Okay, so it'll be your third semester. You'll start with your ag classes, and then you'll be able to pick a focus in advertising as a minor even. So we have currently 2. We're working on a third one. We just have to get it approved before I officially announce it, but it may have to do with our new area of emphasis. But there's a digital advertising path, and then there's a traditional advertising path. I can't think of the word right now. My brain just dumped out. Anyway, yeah, so third semester. Anyway, like Randy was saying, thank you all so much for coming. I look forward to meeting everybody again in the fall. If you have any questions that come up that pertain to the department, please reach out. And it's just my first initial and last name, and then at collegeforcreativestudies.edu. So R Ansel at collegeforcreativestudies.edu. Thanks, Brandy. And I'm happy to look at work that you're doing. I'm happy to provide more information as it pertains to the department. Any questions that you have, but feel free to reach out. I do love looking at portfolios and critiquing work, so don't hesitate. And again, as one of my mentors said, he was in for a visit last year. We had him in as a guest lecturer. You know me now, so reach out. Leverage this network, even if you don't end up joining us in the ad department. I'll still talk to you. I'll still critique your work. I'll still give you whatever advice I can give you moving forward. So anytime you meet somebody, hang on to that information and feel free to reach out. You know, you're here now. I know your names, and it'll ring a bell when I see it pop up in my email. So please leverage that. All right.